Day morning. Thank you for joining us here on Sunrise. Jason Hackett here with you. Obviously, as you saw, there are a lot to talk about this morning, but let's start with the weather here, John, because things are changing in our forecast.
Yeah, just a little bit warmer here this morning, but you can definitely feel there's some moisture now. It's not the lightest air. It's not, there's some density to this now. But we get a great start to the morning. 65 across the Twin Cities as the sun rises. I don't want you to be deterred from what's going to be a great morning walk. Great morning in general, even with clouds coming in by around noon. But yes, the second half of the day looks a little bit different than the first half of the day. You can clearly see temperatures are on the rebound here. Marshall at 64. You're actually 10 degrees warmer in Marshall, and that's because the system is knocking on the door. There is the rain. You can see it coming in Sioux Falls. So right now, yeah, you can see the rain is overperforming a little bit, and we're going to be tracking that out as it moves across the state of Minnesota. We'll do that in your full forecast coming up.
Good morning. As you can see here, the map looks good. Head out the door now if you can. There was a crash about an hour ago in Woodbury, 94 westbound right by Radio Drive. The crash has cleared, but you can still see the stalled semi on the right here. So if you're headed toward Maplewood or St. Paul, just know that that's there when you're traveling. When I see you next, we're talking construction down in Chanhassen this time. If you drive through there, stick around. I'll have more details for you about that project. That's just after 6:15. Jason.
All right, Cece, we'll talk to you then. Thank you very much. Turning back to that breaking news near downtown Minneapolis, where a massive fire ripped through an apartment building just a few hours ago. Fire crews are there right now, watching out for hot spots. Take a look at this dramatic cell phone video, though. We just got into the newsroom. You can see firefighters rescuing people from inside the burning building. A neighbor shared it with us at the scene about 6 hours ago. Audrey Russo is live at the scene with new details from MFD. And Audrey, how are things looking out there now?
Yeah, Jason, within the last half hour, we've actually been able to get a little bit closer to the scene. We can give you a better vantage point. And at this point in the morning, 9 hours into the firefighting operation, we can show you that at least partially, the roof has collapsed in. You can see daylight streaming through the top floor window. Fire crews are still spraying another section of the roof on the other side of the building. But what we have learned in the last 2 hours is that 30 people are out of their homes. It all broke out around 9:45 last night. I want to go back to that dramatic cell phone video that was sent to us by a person on scene. You can see flames shooting through the roof. Crews had to pull people out. Fortunately, everyone was accounted for, but 3 adults and 1 teen are in the hospital this morning. And officials tell us that this was difficult to put out because the building lacked standpipes. And I'll let the assistant fire chief explain a little bit more what those are and how they help a building.
The standpipes help us get water directly from the standpipe system, the fire suppression system. So we did have to lay lines all the way up to the 3rd floor, through the rear and also through the front.
Well, we just had to move because we're getting hit by spray still, and we can see the road is still blocked off in this area, 11th Avenue South, the 1500 block. But as it stands right now, we know that the firefighting operation clearly is still going on and that they're still monitoring for hot spots. As for the 4 people who are in the hospital, we know that they are in stable but serious condition. Coming up in the next half hour, I'll have more information on exactly what firefighters saw, the panic when they arrived on scene. But for now, I'll send things back to you, Jason.
And obviously, a still active scene out there. Audrey, you be safe. Thank you very much. We need to catch you up on results from the state primary election. This morning, 100% of precincts are now reporting, and we know the outcomes of several big races. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar fended off a challenge from Don Samuels, who nearly upset her 2 years ago. Michelle Beck is here now to break down how this round played out. Hey, Michelle.
Yeah, well, Jason, a lot of eyes around the nation were turning into this race. Well, then in the last 9 hours, the Associated Press, they called it. You can see that green check mark there by Representative Ilhan Omar's name. And if we scroll just a little bit farther down, you can see the Congressional District 5 that we're talking about here, as she won by over 13 percentage points. Brand new video and reaction to show you this morning as the Congresswoman was surrounded by her supporters. So how did she win her 4th primary? Representative Omar mentioned last night her fight has been won for an equitable world and health care as a human right. Omar's most notable challenger was Don Samuels, who wanted a District 5 rematch. Samuels, though, walked away with about 43% of votes compared to Omar's 56%.
So I am incredibly honored by this victory tonight. This campaign has been one of the ugliest, most disgusting campaign against me that I have ever ever witnessed.
Taking on an incumbent that, let alone a party-endorsed incumbent with a national fundraising base, is an Herculean task.
And you just heard Don Samuels there mentioned the word national, right? National interest and significant here. Omar's victory stands alone also in the group of progressive House members known as the Squad. So I'll have more on the national consequences of this election when I see you next, Jason.
All right, Michelle, appreciate you breaking down that race. Thank you very much. In Minnesota's GOP Senate race, former NBA player Royce White beat out Joe Frazier with 39% of the votes. White will now take on incumbent Senator Amy Klobuchar in November. In Minnesota's largest district, District 7, Republican Congresswoman Michelle Fischbach won with more than 65% of the vote over her opponent Steve Boyd. Now, if you want to check out the full list of results, including for Minnesota House and Senate races, just go to our website, KARE11.com. You can get the link by texting VOTE to 763-797-7215. Remember, text that number, do not call. Charges could come down as soon as this morning against a group of kids who allegedly stole a car and crashed it in Edina. The youngest suspect, just 11 years old. According to police, the group stole a pickup truck while also driving another stolen Kia on Abercrombie Drive. When police arrived, the suspects took off. That Kia eventually crashed into another vehicle near Highway 62. 3 people were arrested, 2 15-year-olds and that 11-year-old, and police say they found a handgun in the Kia. Charges are pending against them. Police arrested a 12-year-old and another juvenile a few hours later. An amazing story coming out of Maplewood this morning. An 8-year-old girl is being credited for helping fight off an armed robber at a liquor store. According to charging documents, the suspect laid a gun on the counter and told the clerk to hand everything over. The clerk asked him to put the gun away as his daughter was there. Prosecutors say surveillance video showed the 8-year-old girl grab a baseball bat and hit that suspect several times. Wow. The Vikings